Bruce Springsteen there with his classic cover of the Pete Seeger We Shall Overcome song. Before that, Robin Hitchcock, I Want to Tell You About What I Want, and Squeeze from the Play album, song called Satisfied. We have with us on the line, I believe, David Searby from light4america.org. David, are you there?
Good morning, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good morning to you. So let's talk about, you've got a timely event coming up that you want to talk about, January 6th, and is connected to the, I'm always careful what word to use, the insurrection on Capitol Hill.
The song you just played, We Shall Overcome.
There you go. All right. So talk to us about...
So anyway,
yeah.
As we all know, January 6th is coming up. It's kind of a big day in our country's history. And the question is, how does that become a day in our history long term? People may be aware there's a nationwide movement called the January 6th Vigils for Democracy. And as part of that, Speaker Pelosi has organized a 5:30 p.m. Event, a vigil on the Capitol steps this Thursday, January 6th. We are piggybacking on top of that. We're in touch with that whole organization and that whole network, which is through, again, it's called January 6th Vigils for Democracy. And our event is right afterwards at 7 p.m., also on Capitol Hill, at the corner of Constitution Northwest and 1st Street Northwest. It's called Light for America, light, the number 4, America.org. And I think we're going to complement what they're doing and maybe, take a bit less of a bit broader approach and a more of a faith-based approach.
So what is the goal of the event near term and long term?
Well, the goal of the Vigils for Democracy is to talk about January 6th in general and focus people on specific pieces of legislation like the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the very urgent needs for steps to defend democracy. What we're trying to do with Light for America is say, what is January 6th going to be like long term? Is it always going to be this day of utter division where you just completely disagree? Or can we kind of start hoping that one day it can become maybe like a winter 4th of July with maybe people just getting together and just, despite their political differences, saying we're never going to have another January 6th again. So that's what we're hoping to do. Our motto is Fight Fire with Light. We're going to be handing out a bunch of battery-operated candles because Capitol Police prohibit open flames on the Capitol. And unlike some people, we actually respect the Capitol Police. We plan to keep to the rules. So I think it's going to be a really good event. We'll be playing that lovely song that you just heard. And it's essentially prayer, interfaith prayer, which includes references to all faiths, including atheists. We welcome atheists to this event, and we feel that we're part of a faith tradition that's common in the D.C. area that recognizes all faiths and recognizes that atheists are a new and rising part of our faith traditions in America. So we want to empower people of faith to be uniters and say, we don't agree on basic issues like God and theology, but we do agree that America can't have another January 6th, and we have to defend our democracy.
Well, if you go back to our first Civil War, I hope there's not another one coming, but our original Civil War in 1860, faith-based organizations were hugely involved in the abolition movement and propelled it forward in very significant ways.
Correct. And the church was, the Christian church was on the wrong side of that at times, but they were also on the right side of that at times. And that's kind of the story as we go forward, Nobody has a lock on all political truth through the theology, that's for sure. No faith is one party or another, and that's what we're pushing back against. We favor separation of church and state. We oppose those who seek to weaponize faith and use it for political purposes, and we just want to make people of faith uniters. I note that you guys have a great show there on Takoma Radio, Interfaith-ish, Jack Gordon.
Yep.
And they talk about what we believe, why we believe, and how we navigate the common ground and differences between our religious traditions. I think that's God, when I read that this morning, I was like, wow, it's a lot of what we're trying to do with Light for America is find unity among our differences. So I think we're going to have a fun event. And you know what we're also trying to do is broaden the coalition of people who really don't want another January 6th. I think there's a lot of people who really oppose what happened there, but also would not go to an event that Nancy Pelosi led. The fact of the matter is, Brian Sicknick was the Capitol Police officer who was killed, and he was a Trump supporter. And so, you know, we can't just preach to the choir in the end. We've got to.
Good point.
That's what we've been trying to do. My partner and I, Cory Buckner, who's coming down from Chicago, we've been working on some racial justice issues to try to broaden the discussion, to try to include skeptics and people who may not immediately jump on board something they see as partisan, and take a broader view. And so Cory is coming down here. I think we're going to have a nice little event and hopefully grow it over time by keeping that recipe of unity, focus on faith, keeping out of the partisan side of it, and just saying what can unite us as America.
Right. All right, David Searby, Light for America. Before I let you go, remind folks how they can find out more about the event and your organization, how to get involved.
I would say go to our website, which is light4america.org, and go especially onto Facebook and look for light4america.org and sign up and show up. I think it's going to be a good event. We're in touch. We've got all the permits. We think it's going to be a good, safe, good event. Hope to see folks.
All right, fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us this morning and letting folks know about this.
Thanks, brother. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, you're listening to Get Up on WOWD, 94.3 FM, Takoma Radio WOWD. That's David Searby from Light4America.org. It's LIGHT, the number 4, America, which hopefully you know how to spell, .org. Good morning.